Hello everyone, this is Brittany from SLPMaterialGirl.com, here to introduce the articulation workbook for R sound, R, and Before we begin, I just want to tell you what this video, the agenda, the objectives of this video. The first thing I'm going to do is introduce the products. Then I'm going to go into some organizational tips, like how I would recommend you organize your digital materials to make using them as easy as possible. And then I might explore the question, or I will be exploring the question, why digital products versus physical products. I'm telling you that so after I introduce the products, if you're not interested in hearing my tips on organization or why I use digital, you can just X out at that point. You don't have to sit through this potentially 20-25 minute long video. You could just get out at minute 10. But let's get started. When you first purchase this workbook, you will receive a zip file, the R zip file. The first thing you're going to want to do is extract all. That way it then looks like this. It's an unzipped file in which you can make copies of, save, change, alter the name, do whatever you want with. Just go ahead and unzip that to start. Otherwise, the files are read-only, and I don't think you can change them then. Okay. So you've got your R file, and it's unzipped. Let's look into what's included. Okay. Let's start with Articulation Sorry. A couple game boards here. We'll just look at a couple of them. If you've ever played Sorry or Aggravation, these are some typical rules, which, by the way, you can change. If you don't like this rule, go ahead and change it. But you roll a 1 or a 6 to leave home. Rolling a 1 or 6 gives you an extra turn. If you roll a 4, you move backwards. Feel free to make up your own rules, though. So something I like, so when I play this game with a student, whether in person or teletherapy, I may use a physical die or I may use a virtual die. That's up to you. You may open this game up on your laptop, or maybe you send the file to your student's Chromebook. However you want to do it. It'd probably be more organized if you did it on your own laptop, though. Here's what I suggest. So if you want to use a virtual die, make the screen just a little bit smaller, and I will explain why in just a minute, why you want it a little smaller. Like about there. You want to leave, half an inch of room. And then let's pull up a virtual die. I have a site I actually like to use. It's called ESLKids, eslkids.com. I like this site because the ads are generally clean. I've never seen an unclean ad on this site, so you're just safe knowing if you open this up, you're not going to get something wild on the screen. So I like this dice site, and it's a nice little virtual die. I'm not affiliated with kidsgames.com. I just like to use it. So I go ahead and make this screen nice and small. Okay. And then, you know what? Let's get this out of the way. I'm going to put him at the bottom. So now I've got my die off to the side. So let's have player 1 roll first. I usually make the student purple and me red, just so that they can keep themselves properly spatially oriented. But if they want to be red, sure. Okay, so they start here and they go around here. So we roll the die. And first person rolled a 2. When you're stuck at home, you get 2 rolls. So let's give purple 1 more roll. I didn't put that here, but that's just, you give them 2 chances. 5. Okay, so purple doesn't get a turn. That's unfortunate. Let's start with red. 4. Unlucky, unlucky. Okay, we're just going to pretend that this is a 1 or a 6 at this point. Okay, that's a 6 in our mind. Okay, so red got out. Maybe you even... The reason you want that roll is it makes the game more interesting. Like, let's say this person, they could never roll a 1 or a 6, so they only have 1 piece out, while this person, you know, they rolled 3 6s and they were able to get 3 pieces out. Definitely gives them an advantage. You can let them just take a piece out just for the sake of getting started, but if you do that, you know what I mean, like, you're you're taking away some of the tactical advantage that the other player can have, or you can have, which makes the game fun. Okay, so the person, they rolled a 6, so that means they get to roll again. 5. I'm not sure how random this die really is. Okay, so room, rain, rob, rug, rib. So if they would have rolled a 1 or a 6, they can go again, but now it's this person's turn. 3, nope, they gotta roll again. Still can't get out. Oh, there's our 6. All right, excellent. Oh, so this is explaining why I'm keeping this screen shorter. If it was big, I couldn't reach my die, so I have to have it scooched over a little. That way we can click back and forth between our die. This is the last roll I'm going to do. I know I'm beating this horse to death. I don't know why I'm explaining it so thoroughly. You guys understand. Okay, so run and root. And you know what? It's up to you. Do you want them to say run, 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 root, root, root? Like, however many trials you want, you dictate that. One more thing I wanted to point out, and I might point this out a couple times throughout this video. Only move objects with the 4-pointer cursor, and Control Z is your best friend. The reason I say that, let's say we want to move this object. We can move it very easily if we are patient and wait for the 4-pointer cursor. But if we try to move it when it looks like this, oh, well, we'll mess the piece up. Well, now what do? I have an extra tall piece. Why don't you hit Control Z, and now you've just undone whatever boo-boo you might have committed. Let's say we're going to move this piece, and we think we're on it, but we're clearly not. We move the game board. Well, that's unfortunate. You know, instead of trying to line this back up to where it was, why don't we just hit Control Z, you know, until you get back to your position you were at. Or, let's say you move the board, you can also hit the undo arrow up here. It's aggravating. You're trying to keep track of data and you're trying to do a million things. You're trying to make sure that the child's producing, you know, their sound correctly, and when they're not, you're recording that and correcting them in the moment. The last thing you want to worry about is having to fix the board if you accidentally do this and all the pieces are all over the place. So just Control Z, you know, don't stress. All right. Thanks for bearing with me during that. Hopefully you're still here. So we went over Artic Sorry. Let's go over Articulation Checkers. This one, that is the only game that needed a die, by the way. Articulation Sorry. Everything else, all the pieces are included on there. And if you just want to eliminate the confusion of a you know, just use a physical die. You know, bring some dice in your pocket. Okay, so here's Articulation Checkers. Cats versus dogs. Your defeat is certain. Ha, we'll see, cat. So, you know, kids really love to pick a side at that point. Do they want to be this cute little pup, or do they want to be this real freaky cat? You know, whatever they want. Okay. So, normal game of checkers. You know, this person says reply, reply, reply. This person says regret, regret, regret. Oh, red's gonna jump ya. Rap, rap, rap. So this blue piece, they're going to the dog pound. When the pieces get across, they are kinged. So let's say this red piece got all the way over here. Take them out. King. And now they can move in any direction. Now, speaking of moving in any direction, when these pieces are all over the board, like I previously just said, you're trying to take data, you're trying to control behaviors, you're trying to potentially control other children within the room, watch, you know, how your child's producing their sound. So the last thing you want to worry about is, wait, what color was I? So what you can do is, why don't you just label who's who? So player 2, that's me, that's Mrs. Varner. Player 1, that was, let's pretend that's Ashley. So now when all the pieces are all over the board, if you need to just glance at who was who real quick, you've got those labels. I've found this very helpful. I've played this game with quite a few students, and you know, the chaos, you just don't want to. I've been in the middle of a game and forgotten who was who, to the point where, you know, we had to pass, or whose turn it was, we had to pass a beanie bag around so that I could keep track. If you are, you guys know, I don't need to explain that statement. Anyway, let's get to the bottom. When the game's all over, make sure to show the good game slide. That way, we were real competitive at the beginning, but good sportsmanship should always be promoted. But that's your discretion. Slide 9. Slides 10 through 14 are intended for printing, which is why they don't have game pieces. So these here, they're just the game boards. They don't, you know, they don't have the pieces, because you can print those off, laminate them, and then play them, you know, physically if you don't want them on the computer. I suggest printing full slides, like file, print, let's see, full page slides, yeah. So they're as big as possible. Yeah, I think that's as big as you can get. Scale to fit paper, yeah, I guess that's fine. But full page slides, and go ahead and laminate them. Now, if you do physically print them, I provided pieces, but this might be a pain to print and cut these all out. You can just, if you have physical chess pieces or checker pieces at your disposal, you can just use physical pieces and just use these boards for the words. But that's all up to you. All right. So Artic Sorry, Articulation Checkers. Let's go over Chinese checkers. We've got R, monosyllabic R. I'm sorry, this is R. Monosyllabic R, multisyllabic R, and then we've got like R with pictures, high frequency Anyway, I put letters on these game pieces so that if you are doing teletherapy, the student can tell you J to 27 or I to 74. If you're not doing teletherapy, at the very bottom, there's duplicate boards that don't have the letters. So you could just have the student physically move their own piece, and make sure when they move it, it's that 4-pointer cursor, or when you move it, like they might just take their little finger, point at this piece, and then you move it to 38 for them. Just make sure you're not like that. Like if you're like that, it makes the piece big and you have to Control Z to undo that move. But let's go back. I like these more labeled ones. So when you're playing, let's say you want to be blue and they want to be orange. I think you have to be diagonal from each other. I'd have to refresh myself on the rules. But let's say Mrs. Varner is orange and Ashley is blue. I don't know why I'm using the name Ashley. I guess I don't have a student right now named Ashley, so I feel like that's a good name to use. Nice and anonymous. So Mrs. Varner does, she wants to do J to 65, so she has to say faster, faster, faster. Okay, nice, Mrs. Varner. So J to 65. Well, Ashley, who's blue, she's going to do sister, sister, sister. Okay, so she gets to move. I want to do H to 48. So you get the point, and then you get the pieces across the board. Whoever fills up the opposing side with their pieces first wins. This game takes forever. If you want to go quicker, you can, increase or decrease your number of trials. Mother, or mother, 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 mother. However you want to do it. This game usually takes more than one session in my experience, unless you are just hitting that Chinese checkers hard. But that's up to you. All right. We went over Chinese checkered. Let's go over reward games really quick, and then we have some Word docs to go over. Reward games, I include these in all the articulation workbooks. They're just little games, like if you do your work and you work hard, the last 2 minutes of the session, you get to play one of these reward games. Do you want to play tic-tac-toe? Do you want to play Connect 4, Banana Bonanza, Race to the Bath, Picnic Adventure, or this one doesn't have a name, Worms in the Basket? What do you want to play as your last 2 minutes? Actually, excuse me, these games would take longer than 2 minutes. I think these are your 2-minute rewards right here. This you might actually make part of the session. If you have flashcards printed with all of your terms, you could have them say, you know, she rolled a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. She loses a banana. Well, she didn't have any bananas. But now she has to say her target word 5 times. Red, 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 red. Or maybe she rolled a 4, so she has to say it 4 times. Red, 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 red. Now the ape goes. He rolls a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I might have counted wrong with this one. Okay, but he rolled a 6, so this banana is going to go in his red basket. The object of the game is whoever has the most bananas by the end in their basket wins. You get all the way to the end. But you can, whatever they roll is the number of trials they have to use. And with this Connect 4, I put the numbers to decrease confusion. So if your students, the student's red and you're yellow, and they're like, red in this one, and they point, and you don't know which one they're talking about, say, well, what row? Red in 4. Okay, well, then I want yellow in 7. Well, I want red in 4 again. So I labeled these columns to decrease confusion. But anyway, this is just a little reward. This is just included with everybody. I made these games during the pandemic as an online resource. So I just thought I'd throw that in there. All right. So let's go to our Word docs. Coloring activity, color in the bucket. You roll the die and you see which one you could fill in. Ashley got armful, 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 armful. Ooh, slow down, Ashley. You're going real quick. And then she can color that in. And then your other student, she rolled a 5. Arts, arts, arts. Oh, that was nice. Okay, so she colors that in. And you play back and forth. And it gets a little competitive at the end because let's say I keep rolling a 1 and all 3 of these buckets are filled in. Well, obviously my opponent then is probably going to fill up more buckets than me. I'm stuck, rolling a 1 over and over again. Have the kids be different colors, or if you're playing with the kid, you use a different color. That's why at the very end we can see, if there was 15 red buckets but only 6 blue buckets, so the red buckets won. If you want to make it competitive, or don't make it competitive and just make your student fill all these in. And then they get to take it home and tell mom and dad or guardian, look at all the words I practiced today, and I learned what the word armadillo was. Yeah, I learned about an armadillo. If I use weird words in these activities, it's semi-intentional. I think it's great to expose children to things they may not have been exposed to. Like, what's Argentina? Well, that's a country in South America, I think. I'd have to look it up. I am not geographically inclined. I could get lost in a paper bag. But, it's a great learning opportunity. You're going to learn together. You're both going to look it up. I might even use multi-meaning words. I don't think I did that a lot in this packet, but I know in my L packet, or in my L packet, final L, like I use nail and nail. Well, one's a fingernail and one's a nail you hammer into the wall. I think it's great to expose kids to those language elements, even though we're working on Artic. So if you see something a little out there, that might have been on purpose. A couple of those bucket games. We've got a Mad Lib, couple Mad Libs, fill in the blank as it were. The child goes ahead and picks these words, practices them at the word level. So I pick red, 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 raisins, 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 read, read, read. Go ahead and highlight those. And then at the end of the session or at the end of the activity, you read this Mad Lib and make the kid, laugh, or have them read it to practice it at the sentence level while reading. There once was a rabid beaver named Chucky. Every morning Chucky ate raisins for breakfast. So it's just goofy. With those two of those, I've got some sentence strips. So they pick a strip, maybe out of the hat, and have to make a sentence. So Grace and prize, we could make Grace a name. Grace won the prize. However you want to do it. Or we set the crabs free at the zoo. whatever you want to do. All right. I think that's it. Yeah. I also just have this little this little book companion, Listen to the Wind by Greg Mortenson. This book is beautiful. If you haven't read it, I would look it up on YouTube and listen to it read. And you can do that for your student, unless you want to actually pay for it and buy it. That would be great too. I'm sure Greg Mortenson would appreciate that. But Listen to the Wind, it's about these students in the Middle East building their school. The art is very beautiful in that book. I included this just because I had to make it the other month for a student, and it was, we were working on R, and I was like, well, I'll just throw it in there. It's the only book companion in the R packet, but it's cute. Have them practice at the word level, practice at the sentence level. Oh, and then I've got a story organizer. What you can have the student do is, this is complex. This is practicing at the conversation level. So the mothers, gathered the water while the students sat on the ground, and whatever. So they're doing R at the conversation level, like what happened first, then, next, and last. This is for your advanced R students. I think that's it. Okay, so at this point in the video, if you are satisfied with what you've heard, go ahead and click out. I'm now going to talk about how to organize these materials. Alright, so you'll notice when I was doing Artic Sorry, I was messing with this board, changing it all up. This is my master copy. I don't want to do that. So I'm actually going to X out and don't save. I don't want to save those changes I just made. So let me open it back up. I'm going to open up Artic Sorry again. This is my nice clean master copy. I don't want to mess with this. So my suggestion is I'm going to play this game with Ashley today. Well, actually, let's play this one with Ashley. So I'm going to take the slide, right click it, hit copy. Okay, so I've got that slide copied, and I'm going to go to Ashley's PowerPoint, or this could even just be called student or third grade, or however you want to label this. And I'm going to right click this slide and hit paste. Not just any old paste. I'm going to do paste, keep source formatting. And you want to do that because if you paste it using destination theme, it will change the color of things. It might change the shape. It might just change any something I did to it. So you just want to keep source formatting. Okay, and then I'm going to label this. This is Ashley's board. Now let's say instead of this being Ashley's PowerPoint, this is actually all of third grade. So that, or games in progress. I actually want to rename this. Let's name this as games in progress, because when you're done you can erase these. Games in progress. Okay. So these are all my games in progress. Let's delete this slide. So I'm working on this with Ashley, and then let's say I'm in the middle of a Chinese checker game. So we're going to copy, go to our games in progress, paste it, and this is with, was this also with Ashley? Yeah. But how about this is Ashley and Mark? So I've got all these games in progress. That way I'm not messing up my master copy. Another thing you can do, this is a little riskier, instead of copying and pasting into a whole new slide or a whole new whatever, I'm going to X out of this. I don't want to save any of these changes, because if I do, let's say I did save this. I saved it on my master. I really ruined things. You didn't really ruin them. You just now have to manually put all these pieces back, and these pieces could be everywhere at this point. And then you've got to make this back to player 2. So that's annoying. You don't want to, or player 3, you don't want to have to do all that. So instead of doing that, if you are playing a game that or you're pretty confident it's only going to take one session, or you're going to make it only take one session, you're like, this is it. We got to get through this Articulation Checkers game. This is the only session we are dedicating to this. So why not Okay, so here we are. We're on our master copy. We're being very daring right now. I'm going to take this and I'm going to duplicate slide. Okay, so we're in a duplicated slide right now. We go ahead and play our game. You know, our game's all over. You know, all the red pieces are in here, all the blue pieces are in here. All these are moved around. We labeled this the teacher's name or the SLP's name. We labeled this the student's name. We're all done. We still have our master, but the game is over. We're going to right-click it and delete it when we're all done before we save. So you can just play right there on your master if you're confident you're going to delete it. Or let's say you do save it, you know, like this one here we had messed up. Let's say you do save it and you just know you don't mind either putting the pieces all back to where they go, or you're going to delete it the next day when you finish. And you can go ahead and label. You can say this one was Ashley's board. You can do that, but I prefer to copy, go to a completely different PowerPoint, like my games in progress or my third grade, or specific, you know, you can have a PowerPoint for Ashley, Tom, Richard, whoever, or you can just have your games in progress, label it however you want. As a speech therapist, I was never an organized person, but when I started, you know, speech therapy, it just comes with the territory. You have to get organized. Now remember, when I paste, I want to keep source formatting. This is all saved. Okay, so let's say throughout the week, Ashley and I finished this game. I'm just going to delete this off. Okay, and these are the rest of my in-progress games. And then you have, I'm sure, a way of keeping note. If you were in the middle of a note or a game, maybe in your daily note, you might even scribble in there in pencil, finish Chinese checkers with Gary tomorrow, or played Chinese checkers. That way you know to go to your games in progress PowerPoint. Let me also note, these can all be converted over to Google Slides and Google Docs. You know what I mean? You can just open them up in Google Slides and play there. I know a lot of you probably have Chromebooks. PowerPoint read-only should work on there, I believe. But if it doesn't, you can just open it up in your Google Slides. All right, so that's a little bit about organization. Like, I'm going to have to X out of all of these and not save my progress. Like, don't save, because I want to keep my master copy. I would just advise you do the same. Oh, boy. Okay, so if you're done with organization, you can click out at this point. I want to introduce you guys to a product. I'm going to be updating the R packet. Believe it or not. I know I'm just now introducing it, but I am doing a major update. I'm so excited about this. I'm going to be introducing Articulation Kɛrəbu. I have been working so hard on this. It's not included yet because I'm still creating all the boards. But not many hours, well, at least a day, many hours have went toward trying to figure out how to set up Articulation Kɛrəbu. When I was in the schools, I couldn't find a physical version of this. Like, I don't know if they stopped selling it or what happened. So I went on a site called Teacher Pay Teacher trying to buy my own, like a digital version, and I didn't like the versions I was finding, so I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to create my own, which involves a lot of design knowledge on PowerPoint. So it's been a journey, but I just wanted to show you how it works, and I can go more in depth with this after the update, and I'll show you where I'm going to be posting that update. So if you're waiting to purchase the R product because you want Kɛrəbu included, I'll show you where I'll post that update. It should be this week though. It's 8/6/2022, so if you're listening to this, after August, after August 15th, it's probably included at that point, August 15th, 2022, then safe bet. Okay, but let me show you. So you go to slideshow, from current slide. The game only works in presentation mode. So you've got our cards here, and if you've played Kɛrəbu is a wild time. It's a real fun time, but we take turns. So this person says red, red, red. Okay. Oh my gosh, you found the red ball. Well, I'm going to do raise, as in raise your hand. Raise, raise, raise. Ah, no ball. How about, well, radish, radish, radish. Oh my goodness, you found the purple ball. And we go back and forth, lifting up these cards, seeing if we can find all 5 balls. Run, run, run. Remote, remote, remote. Radio. I don't know if kids even know what a radio is today. They know what a stereo is. I don't know about radio. Reptiles, rocket, reed, rug, raccoon, rice, robot, and rake. Oh, we found all 5 balls. Well, however you want to play it. So you can do it that whoever found the most balls gets to open the treasure box, or you can do it whoever found the last ball. So, I think the blue ball was the last one we found. Mark found the blue ball, so he gets to open up the treasure box. Let's see. So you click the treasure box. Whoa! You have, look at all that wonderful stuff in the treasure box. You got a big screen TV and a pony and a drone and a chocolate marshmallow s'more. Looks like you've got an iPhone. And the kids, they'll just giggle and get a real kick out of that because they were expecting gold, but they weren't expecting all of these treasures. So I had a lot of fun with this, by the way. Then you just press the escape button to get out. So I'm going to be designing a bunch of Articulation kɛrəbu boards, and once they're done, I will add them to the pack. And where you can see this update, so I'm going to pull up my website actually to show you what it looks like right now. So let's go to catalog. We're going to go to the articulation workbook. I have pictures of the products right now. If you want to see if it includes kɛrəbu, purchase includes, it does not say kɛrəbu right now. Well, yeah, no, it doesn't. You know what might be a better place? Looking right here. Instead of 3 unit games, it'll say 4, and it'll say Artic Sorry, Artic Checkers, Artic Chinese Checkers, and Articulation kɛrəbu. And I'll include a picture right here. So if you see this picture of Articulation kɛrəbu, you know it's in there. Right now it is not. I'm still designing the boards. If you have any questions too, you can contact me and you can ask, hey, I was really interested in the art pack, but I just want to know if Articulation kɛrəbu is in there. I really want that kɛrəbu. But that's up to you. All right. If you're done talking about the update, you can leave or stay. Now I just want to very briefly talk about why digital. Digital products are nice. You get to carry your laptop around without carrying a bunch of game boards. Children today, okay, and I don't mean it like that. I prefer a physical game. If I'm gonna, and studies show that physically moving your body while you're acquiring language and sound is highly beneficial. So if you want to play on a physical board, go crazy. But children love digital products. They love to play computer games. So I have found at least that in person or through teletherapy, they like these digital boards. They're excited to play on the computer, and some of them have limited computer time and game time and media time. So this is a real treat to be able to, play on the computer. But like I said, if you want to physically play, you could also buy this packet, make your own little labels. You can take the words from my Chinese checkers, or not, well, yeah, that too. And you can make your own little labels and physically play this game, and you can even just buy this pack for the ideas it gives you to add to your physical games. But digital's nice because, like I said, you're not carrying a bunch of stuff, you're just carrying your laptop around, and kids seem to really respond to digital products. Alright, this has been a nice long video. If you're still here, thank you. Please subscribe if you want to see more from me. Hit the like button if you liked this video. Leave a comment if you have a suggestion for me or a comment for me. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks for listening.